Welcome back to California Cooking. We have a great show lined up for you today. You know and love her from Top Chef Antonia Lofaso and her restaurant Scopa Italian Roots. We get to cook and chat. So much fun to hang out with her. Plus, I'm combining two of my favorite soups to make for you a white chicken chili with sweet potato and bacon. Then, have you heard of a baco? It's a cross between a burrito and a sandwich, and oh man, is it delicious. First, I got to know Chef Antonia Lofaso by watching Top Chef, and now she has turned that platform into a booming business with 3 successful restaurants here in LA, and I got the chance to hang out with her in her kitchen. She is so much fun, and she made the most delicious mushroom pasta. Take a look. Chef Antonia Lofaso.
Yes.
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
We're in your beautiful restaurant in Marina del Rey.
Yes.
I love it. You were telling me that you design restaurants based on a situation that might take place in a restaurant,
Well,
like a date or a...
Correct. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So Scopa is very, I'm from Long Island, New York, so
Okay.
it's meant to feel like you're in a small sort of brick and mortar Italian restaurant in Brooklyn or the Bronx or Staten Island. So this idea of American Italian food,
Yeah.
and when I say American Italian food, there's a lot of restaurants that are regional Italian cooking. So some that focus on Rome in the center, some that focus on Venice or
Sure.
Bologna or the Amalfi Coast. The American Italians are a mishmash of everyone who landed, on Ellis Island, whether they were from Bologna or Venice or Rome, had families and children, and that mixture of Italian love turned into what you see in Little Italy all across the United States. So that sort of red sauce Italian is what Scopa is. So once we figure out what the concept is of venue, then I always like to play a little game of who were my diners, right? You said you came in the other night with a whole bunch of girlfriends.
Yeah.
So if a group of girls are dining out, are they starting with a little lambrusco and the ricotta crostini and maybe some, cured prosciutto, and what does that look like? And then, maybe it's like 2 guys who just got out of the gym and, they've got
Sure.
huge muscles and
That
they don't
sounds
eat
fun.
carbohydrates. And what are they gonna eat? So I always think of like the steak and maybe the Brussels sprout salad. So if you wanna eat clean, you can come here, but it still lives within the concept. You wanna
that.
break your diet and eat spaghetti and meatballs and 4 pounds of bread, you can do that. It's basically something for everyone.
I think the way that you lit up when you talked about an American Italian family that has their roots here, but also their heart is in Italy with the food they know.
I grew up only knowing American Italian food.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually until I moved to Los Angeles that my development of food, the food world began. When I moved to Los Angeles, that was where my culinary journey began, not that I even really knew it, but it was at El Torito. My parents took me to El Torito and they said there was fajitas.
Well, I worked at Chili's, so I heard fajitas more than you.
Right,
but
so that was my mom and dad. Listen, they're
I
both,
get it.
both Italians
Yeah.
from Long Island, had never seen Mexican food,
Right.
Latin food. They didn't know what it was. And this was my first sort of outside of Italian food culinary experience.
Interesting.
Yeah. And honestly, food is a gateway to other cultures, the way people see one another by eating their food, by seeing each other through food. Most people find out about another culture or another country first through their food.
Yeah, people know and love you, obviously, from Top Chef. So many other things, but that's the one thing I think where
I can't get away from it.
you exploded and they're like, who's this? What was that experience for you? Is that what kind of gave you the opportunity to have these restaurants and open businesses?
Well, I always say that it doesn't hurt to have a platform, right? So Top Chef gave me, obviously, a national platform, which was fantastic. But people really only come to the restaurant once for your platform.
Yes.
So I'm very proud of the fact that all the businesses are thriving, and because people will come and spend their money once to see if I'm here, but they're not gonna come back and spend their money twice or 4 times a week. I love this idea that we welcome people into our homes and that we throw the best party of the night every single night. We're not in the party, but we are throwing the party. And that we're hospitable to people and that we make people want to share their birthdays with us and weddings. And to me, that's like a huge sign of success, because this is the space that people choose to spend some of their biggest moments. And that to me it's a huge honor to have that experience.
We're in the kitchen at Scopa.
Yes. This is kind of like when you're backed into the corner here.
Yeah.
most restaurants, the piece de resistance is the grill. Scopa is the pasta station.
Yeah.
There is a ton of food that comes from the station. We do like 500 covers a night.
Wow.
And this is their little nook and cranny.
Well, it's amazing when you watch chefs. It's kind of like a dance. It's a choreographed number. Everyone's kind of getting out of each other's way. And
it's actually the most beautiful ballet there is, especially when you kind of vibe off of people that you're working with. I've seen chefs like do these like little spin moves and like drop down, and it's like, and then where you can anticipate your partner's move.
Yeah.
It's very nice when you have that synergy that
I like
moves in the
it.
kitchen.
What are we gonna make?
Okay, in Italian food, you always have sort of that mushroom pasta, right?
Okay, yeah.
You've heard of like a fettuccine alfredo. This is my version of that, if you will.
Okay.
So it's not so black and white.
What kind of pasta
So this is
that?
a creste rigate. So creste as in like a crust,
Yeah.
okay? Rigate as in there's ridges, okay? Hot pan, a little bit of butter, and by a little bit of butter I mean a good amount of butter. I like to do butter olive oil. I have a fresh clove of garlic that I'm gonna just kind of open up with my palm of my hand and let it bloom.
And these
sprig
kind
of
of
thyme.
pasta dishes are pretty fast, right?
They're
They come
pretty
together.
fast, but so what I'm doing is kind of reconstituting the fat. I'm flavoring the fat here. I'm gonna just throw in these beautiful mushrooms, and I'm gonna allow them to saute. I don't want to move them around in the pan too much. I want them to get brown on their own. Gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of cracked black pepper, and I'm gonna just like kind of let these things do. I'm gonna let the mushrooms do their thing. Got the water just in a nice small little rolling here boil. I'm gonna throw about a handful of that creste in there. People assume that fresh pasta takes seconds to cook. It actually doesn't. It takes about 4 minutes. Now, depending on the season, we use a different green every time. So right now we're just using a little bit of beet greens and a little bit of dandelion greens.
Nice.
So after the mushrooms and the greens are sauteed and it's just a little bit of wilt, now we're gonna build the sauce. So this is a mushroom stock. So it's actually a ton of different mushroom ends that we cook down in a little bit of white wine. Add a little bit more butter to it. When I say a little bit of butter, I mean a good amount of butter. And that's what's really gonna make this sauce. Now, the pasta's about finished. The sauce is almost there, but what I'm gonna do now, actually, is let the pasta finish cooking. A little bit of the pasta water. The pasta water is gonna thicken it. And I'm gonna throw that pasta right in there, and I'm gonna allow the pasta to really ingest the sauce. Okay. That, to me, when I'm talking to people about pasta, I'm like, the two things, if you take anything away, is cook your pasta in the sauce and salt your pasta water. So as we're finishing, this is the very, very end, okay? When you're at the end, that is when the cheese goes in.
Off the heat.
Off the heat. Do not put cheese while you're on the heat. It just takes away the beautiful, tangy, salty flavor of the Parmesan Reggiano. You put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there, that thickens it up as well, right?
Yep.
Very, very end, just a little bit of chopped parsley.
Okay.
And then just to brighten it, because you saw all that cheese and butter and squeeze of fresh lemon juice.
And it created this silky sauce by doing that.
100% did. It created a silky sauce, and just by giving it a second to be together, right? Just to finish, I did a little bit of fresh breadcrumb, and that's to kind of add some texture to it.
Should we taste this beauty?
I mean, dig right in.
This is incredibly
You taste a little hit of lemon in there, is what kind of makes
the
it.
lemon and then the bitter of the green. I really like that. Chef, that's delicious.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. I still got it. I still got it. I can still do it.
She's got it all right. You got to come to Scopa. Because anyone this passionate about food, you know it has to be good.
Thank you.
This has been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I have to say, Chef Antonia is such a riot in the kitchen. We laughed, we danced, we ate. Her passion for what she does, it's contagious. And if you want to know how to make her honey gem salad with tuna dressing, go to kcla.com. Coming up, it's a cross between a burrito and a sandwich. I get the chance to hang out with Chef Joseph Centeno and try out his creation known as the baco. Plus, does Levi like it? I make for him homemade lemon ricotta pancakes, but does he like it? When it's chilly outside, I love a good bowl of hearty soup. So I decided to mash up my two favorite soups and create a white chicken chili with bacon and sweet potato. But I gotta admit, my favorite thing about soup is the toppings. Take a look at how I made it. I don't know about you, but I love soup in the wintertime. And I thought it would be fun to combine two of my favorite soups. Who doesn't love the creamy potato with bacon soup? You know, the crunchy bacon on top. And I love a white chicken chili. So I thought, what if I combine those two soups and make a sweet potato bacon white chicken chili? I don't know. I thought, how could any of those things be bad? Any good recipe starts with bacon. So I'm not even gonna bother chopping it up or cutting it or anything. I'm just gonna put 3 slices into a hot Dutch oven pan, because I'm gonna make the soup in here. So this is a one-dish wonder, one-pot wonder. And let them fry up. Should I do 4? I should do 4, then I can eat the 4th piece. And then we're gonna cook all the veggies in the bacon grease. Our bacon is done. I'm gonna put them on a paper towel. Nice and crispy. I love soup because you can add so many veggies to it and make it really as healthy as you want. This is gonna have a little decadence with the bacon, maybe a little bit of cream, but I'm going to keep with my white chicken chili theme, I'm gonna do a white sweet potato. And sweet potato, normally you'd think are orange, and they are, but they also come in white at the grocery store. So I'm gonna do a white sweet potato in my white chicken chili. Okay, we're gonna cut this white sweet potato into bite-sized pieces, and then we're gonna saute it up. And we've got the bacon grease in there. And potato cake takes a little while to cook. So we're gonna just let this get nice and soft in there. And I started with the hardest vegetable first, so the one that takes the longest. So that would be the sweet potato. Let's add a little salt to our potatoes. So once the potatoes soften a little, we're gonna add our white carrot to keep in theme with our white chicken chili. Then we're gonna add some white onion, some yellow bell pepper, some celery. We've let our veggies cook down a little bit. The onions and the celery, they let out the water, and so it's really softened all the veggies. Now the chicken stock, boxed chicken stock. If you have homemade chicken stock, knock yourself out. Now the salsa verde. So this is tomatillos, chili peppers, onions, and some salt. And that's all that's in here. And it really adds a little bit of a tang, because tomatillos are a little tangy, almost sour. So you add a 7-ounce can of that. Ooh, our garlic. I forgot to saute the garlic, but that's okay. It's a soup. You just throw it in. I really should have sauteed the garlic a little bit with the veggies, but that's okay. Oh, you know, I've messed this up a little bit. Again, what can you do? I should have put the spices in with the veggies. I wasn't paying attention. We can add our spices now. So I'm gonna do a palmful of chili powder. And what's nice about sauteing these with the veggies, it wakes up the flavors. As when they hit heat, these spices that have been in jars for a while open up once they hit the heat. So this is cumin. I'm gonna do, I'd say about a tablespoon of cumin, maybe a little bit more, maybe a tablespoon and a half of cumin, and some oregano. Let's do about a teaspoon of oregano. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit with my homemade soup. I'm gonna add a can of cream of chicken soup. If you add it to your soup, it's gonna give this creamy texture that really would be hard to get otherwise. So I'm just gonna stir that in. That's something my mom always had in the cupboard. A little can of cream of mushroom or cream of chicken. I'm gonna let these flavors just kind of slowly simmer on the stove at medium heat, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, let everything combine. Okay, the chili thickened up nicely. It was simmering 10 to 15 minutes, and because of the sweet potato, it ends up thickening the soup, so it's a really nice consistency. And I didn't want to cook the beans and the chicken too long, so that's why I'm adding it a little bit later in the process. I'm gonna add the thawed corn. You could put it in frozen, but I already had it out on the counter. About a cup of frozen corn. And then our white cannellini beans, drained and rinsed, into the soup. And then the shredded chicken from the rotisserie chicken at the grocery store. I shredded the white meat, and I'm gonna add that in. So this becomes a really thick and hearty soup. Now, because all of those ingredients are already cooked, I'm just gonna stir it in and let them heat through. I would say medium-low heat for 5 to 10 minutes. And then our soup is ready to eat. Okay, our chili is bubbling away on the stove and it's ready to serve. I love chili because of the toppings. So I have some yummy toppings. I'm gonna put some sour cream, some mozzarella cheese, some tortilla chips, a little bit of chopped avocado, and bacon. That is the reason to eat chili. Any good recipe, it starts with bacon, right? Coming up, it's a cross between a burrito and a sandwich. I get to try my first baco. And does Levi like it? I make for him lemon ricotta homemade pancakes. We'll see if he likes it. That's next. Joseph Centeno is a James Beard nominated chef, and honestly, the sweetest guy you'll ever meet. He has 4 really successful restaurants in downtown Los Angeles, so when he opened up this fast, casual lunch spot, people knew it was going to be a hit. We're in Joseph Centeno's light-filled, sunny sandwich shop, I guess you could say, in Culver City. Hi, Chef. It's nice to meet you. I think this is such a pretty spot. It's right on the corner. Everybody can see it. And it just kind of lures you in with the colors, and it looks so inviting.
Yes, I mean, that was the idea. When I opened the downtown Baco Mercat, the goal was always to open with kind of a more fast casual version of the type of cooking that we do down there, but make it more price point accessible and just faster, and just try to branch it out so that we could take our flavors around.
The word baco, I think, in and of itself, it has made people go, hey, what's that? What is baco?
I developed baco about almost 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was an off-menu item. It was kind of like an after-service kind of staff meal. And back then, we were calling it kind of a global taco, but that was like really kind of strange. And then we went Glabaco for like a week. And that was even more strange. And when I decided to finalize the name, I took the center of Glabaco out and just called it Baco.
You grew up in Texas.
Yes.
I read San Antonio. As a kid, I don't know many kids that like to read cookbooks, but you did?
That's where it started. I mean, I was already in high school.
Yeah.
I started working as a dishwasher, and then I moved to Austin to go to UT. And that's when I really started getting into cookbooks and collecting them and reading them, and decided that was the direction that I wanted to go in.
Yeah. So what do people say when they come in here for lunch? What are you hearing from your customers?
Well, I mean, I hope that they're saying it's delicious.
Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Okay, first of all, what I noticed is the ooey gooey cheesy one right here, Chef.
So this is one that we actually developed for Baco Shop. There's a little bit of harissa, avocado, and cheddar and jack. And you can add any of the proteins. We have chicken and fried chicken and shrimp.
You know what it tastes like right now? Okay, I just went back to being in 1986 and eating pizza rolls. But like the best pizza roll you've ever had. That's the flavor that came to my mind in that moment. This is my new like childhood indulgence right here. And I just burnt myself, but it was totally worth it. Now talk about the chicken sandwich here.
So the chicken is it has like one of our spice mixes. It's kind of a combination of za'atar and dried herbs that we marinate, and then we just do a really simple grill. Cook it, slice it, and it's ready to go.
Okay, I guess I'm not sharing this one with you. Okay. And you know what? This bread, this is your recipe?
This is our recipe.
So good. I feel like this is the place you come where you need food that hits the spot, and this is gonna do just that. I'm gonna go back into my cheese again. Over here,
So
side items.
we do about 5 or 6 different vegetable dishes. Corn just started, so this is coming out of Northern California. It's kind of a take on Mexican street corn with the smoked aioli and cotija and Parmesan cheese. These are our cheddar hash browns that you can also order with a side of queso on top and jalapenos. And then we have our za'atar fries.
And for za'atar, for people that aren't familiar with za'atar.
Well, it's basically it's an herb mix, a Middle Eastern herb mix that has sumac and sesame and dry thyme, and it's delicious. We use it in so many different applications.
Well, you know how to make a baco. Well, you are the creator of the baco, so you would know. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
It's been fun. But I feel like you need to eat with me. I did all the eating, chef.
I've eaten many.
More than you can count, I'm sure. All right. Oh my. I'm telling you, if you want something that is so delicious you can't stop thinking about it, you gotta go try a baco. Thanks, chef. Now on to Levi Likes It. I know he likes boxed pancakes, but I decided to step it up a notch and make homemade lemon ricotta pancakes. But does he like it? Let's find out. Hey, Levi.
It's pancakes.
What does it taste like?
Ice cream. Ice cream.
Oh,
I want more.
you do?
Yeah, more.
Thanks, Levi. Chew with your mouth closed. Yay! Levi liked my homemade pancakes that are actually inspired by my friend Phil. If you want to know how to make them, go to ktla.com. That does it for us. And I want to let you know I had such a great conversation with Chef Antonia Lofaso that we took it to the podcast. Check out California Cooking with Jessica Holmes. We talk about her secrets to success and the biggest compliment that someone could pay her when they taste her food. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time. In sync.
This slate's like my favorite thing.
And just give me a pickup that says, let's go make some pasta.
Oh, that's right. She actually wanted that line.
Right. You have like a little dance. Mm-hmm. So you do like.